Hello and welcome to our total summer transformation. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm really excited to be here with you tonight because I'm actually in the middle of my total summer transformation. I'm doing a 30-day superfoods cleanse. I'm on day 18, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that with you. I just have my second shake of the day here with me, and it's absolutely delicious, of course. And I'm going to be joined here momentarily with a dear friend and colleague of mine whose story is absolutely incredible. But before I introduce you to her, I want to share with you a little bit about my story and how it is that I found these incredible superfood protocols 6 years ago and just how much they've changed my life. I actually have several stories that I want to share with you tonight, but I'll start off with the gateway story. And that story was that I was 10 years postpartum. I was 50 pounds overweight and struggling. I was working a lot. I really was assembling the food for my family in a very hurried way, showing up in service to my community as an activist, working to support my clients, and then, caring for my family. It was a lot. And I know that so many of us who are moms can relate to what that's like. And consequently, I wasn't prioritizing my own nutrition. I didn't even know what that meant. I used to go to Whole Foods and get, a green apple, cucumber, spinach drink like once every 5 weeks. And I was like, yay, go Stephanie. And so we don't know what we don't know, right? So thank you for muting everyone. So, and we only can do better when we know better, right? So I was grateful to find these cleansing protocols from a colleague of mine. She was actually a client of mine, a doctor who I deeply respected and loved. I was helping her create a brand new website for her business. And she went live on Facebook. Hello, how many of us have found amazing things on Facebook, right, from our friends and our colleagues? So I was super excited to find this protocol because I knew I needed help. And I wasn't working with a naturopath. I wasn't working with a nutritionist. I didn't even have a GP that I was working with. And so I was struggling, right? And also I wasn't someone who actually knew what a cleanse was. I just knew that, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that was me. I was done. I was like, I need to make a change. I was on my way to Maui for my 50th birthday party with my sister. And I wanted to fit into my bikini, so those were my humble beginnings. Several months later, I had lost 21 pounds without being a crazy person at the gym. I just really started to change my diet. I really started to make more loving decisions about how it was that I was nourishing my body on the daily. That was key. Okay. Remember how I said I used to go to Whole Foods and, once every 5 weeks, and I thought I was good? What I realized as I started to drench my body with this superfood nutrition is that our body needs this level of nutrition every single day. And one of the things I like to say now is superfoods for super moms. I mean, that's who I thought myself to be, right? But I wasn't fueling my body with the superfoods that my body needed in order for me to show up as a super mom. So that's what changed for me. And when the good news started happening to me, I had to share it. And so I started sharing with my dear friends and colleagues in the LA area where I used to live. And little by little, I started helping others change their life. And we'll be sharing more about that in the second part of this presentation. But that's my first story, okay? That was my initial gateway, was vanity. I wanted to lose weight. My second story is really, it involves my son, Zephyr. So my son, Zephyr, is now a teenager and a 15-year-old and someone who had gut dysbiosis for most of his young life. Okay. And again, we don't know what we don't know. And I was feeding that boy something that was causing that gut dysbiosis. And many of you may know, some of you might not, that the culprit was General Mills's Cheerios, which General Mills, I was just reading an article today, they profit in the billions, you guys, from selling us toxic food. And I could go off on a rant about that, but I'll be doing that in a couple weeks on Fierce Friday in 2 weeks. So reach out to me if you'd like to know more about that event. But Zephyr, I was unknowingly poisoning my kid. And so I learned that that Cheerios was completely drenched in glyphosate, which is a toxic herbicide. I removed that product out of his diet, out of our pantry, and I gave him our product that effectively removes glyphosate out of the body. So that is something that I am taking every day right now, twice a day, while I'm in this 30-day experience. Because even if we eat a very pure organic diet, we still are taking in glyphosate from a whole bunch of different places. When we eat out at a restaurant, like I did today, that's not an organic restaurant. There's glyphosate in the food, the veggies that I was consuming today. And the glyphosate is everywhere. It's in everything. And I invite you to do more research about it because it's a very serious toxin in our environment. So that was my second story around my superfoods and how I was able to help my son. And then the third story is quite serious. I learned that I had a breast cancer diagnosis 3 years ago. And I was really grateful for what it was that I had learned for the first 3 years of doing these cleansing protocols. But it wasn't enough to thwart breast cancer, because what we know now is that cancer can take decades to create a tumor in the body. And so while I was doing great in terms of when I was cleansing, I was going back to really old habits. I'd cleanse and then I'd go back to old habits. So that was really a fork in the road, the cancer diagnosis. And I was just like, Stephanie Dawn, you have got to clean up your diet once and for all. And so that's when I truly, honestly adopted the PURIUM lifestyle. And I've stuck with it to this day. And I know that when I veer off, if I go to travel, or I'm eating out a bit too much, I can come back to this protocol. They do travel well. These superfoods do travel really well, but it can be hard when you're traveling to stick to, the daily core four, as we like to call it. So I know that I can always come back home and get into my rhythm of nourishing my body in this deep and beautiful way. So that's just a little bit about me and why it is that I'm here in front of you tonight, bringing this superfoods protocol to you, and why it is that I'm involved 6 years down the road here in my own, total summer transformation. So without further ado, I'd really like to introduce you to someone who I've known and come to love as a dear and sacred sister of mine over the last 5 years or so. When I was just getting started with the superfoods community in Los Angeles, I met Tal Kapoor, and Tal wasn't well. She was, I'll let her share her story with you in a moment, but I have watched, speaking of butterflies, this woman has completely become a gorgeous multicolored butterfly right before my very eyes. And she was a tough customer at the start. So Tal, without further ado, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. And you're just such a superstar, honey. Like I've loved witnessing your journey. Will you share a little bit about that transformation that you've been through?
Oh my gosh. I just have to say, yes, I was a tough customer. It was a hard pass, you guys, really hard pass for a few months. And I just want to start off by saying, Stephanie, you are the light that has entered into my life, and your support for me throughout the entirety of my 5-year journey has just been endless. And you come at me with pure love and determination. You fight for me, and that makes me want to fight even harder. So I appreciate even just watching your journey and learning from everything that you share with us on a daily basis, whether it's through your social media or even just through our Zooms. It's just so wonderful to really learn from you. Because, you know, guys, I came from a different world. You know, Stephanie had some knowings, right? She did her little superfood shakes at Whole Foods every 5 weeks. I had never done that. Not once. Not even once did I ever go to Whole Foods and have a green juice. Like, that just seemed gross. Like, it was not in my wheelhouse at all, let alone even shopping at Whole Foods. That was just a whole nother category. I was a fast food junkie. I was a product of the standard American diet. I lived it. I praised it. I actually was proud of it. I thought I made a mean Kraft mac and cheese. You know, I thought Vienna sausages were the thing. Like, you know, throw them into the mac and cheese, like, boom. You know, I had no idea what I was doing. And so when I was introduced to this superfoods and these superfoods protocol, I was like, yeah, no, you guys are, I don't know what kind of trees you're hugging, but I'm not into that. That's not my thing at all. I see you cracking up at me, Stephanie, but you know, it's true. You know, the moment you told me that, you know, you'd be inviting me to release coffee. I'm sorry, what? You know, I'm from Jamaica. I grew up on coffee. Coffee's our life, you know? And so that was kind of really, that was a total, it took me back. But then I was really, really sick. I was in a bad place. And Stephanie saw that. And she extended that hand of care. And the owner of our company always says how she was care fronted the first time she was introduced to this product by Dave Sandoval, the other co-owner and formulator. And that's exactly what Stephanie did for me. And my friend Erin, who shared her gift card code with me, they absolutely care fronted me. And I've learned so much from that experience because, you know, in the past with other products and protocols and trainers and cleanses and all the other stuff, I never got this kind of intimacy with any of it. And I think that that's why I kept failing all the time, because I really needed some hand holding, you guys. You know, I was suffering with PCOS from I was 13, from I first started my cycles. And I had a pretty bad case. I mean, I had hundreds of polyps all over my ovaries. And, you know, would only cycle once, maybe twice a year, but like every 6 to 8 months. And then it would last for like 2-3 months. I mean, it was awful. I'd become anemic. It was terrible. And this was my life since I was 13. And I'd sort of accepted that that's just the way that it is. This happens to some girls and some girls have it every month and, you know, whatever. It's just the way that it is. I got the luck of the draw. I don't know if it was lucky. And then, you know, that turned into high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Eventually at 43, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I had severe anxiety, severe depression. I was medicated for it. You know, I was on 7 different prescription medications by the time I met Stephanie. And I really didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just like, meh, you know, everyone, when they say when they hit 40, just wait till you hit 40, you know, because that's when it all comes down, you know. And so I thought, well, I'm 43. All right, these are the things that are supposed to happen. I'm supposed to wake up with my feet still swollen from 2 days before, you know, with my hands not being able to type anything because they were so cramped. I was supposed to have migraines because all mamas have migraines, right? Especially when your kids are young. Like that comes with the territory. That's part of the package, right? So I was normal. Everything was working just fine. And my doctors just every time I met with them would just up the milligrams. Let's try a different medication. Let's see if this is going to work for your blood pressure. Let's see if this is going to control your sugar levels. Let's see. I mean, oh my goodness, years of the let's see, let's try, let's change. Years of it, and nothing was helping me. Nothing. It was like, you know, those cheap Band-Aids that don't even stick on your skin. It was like one of those. You put the Band-Aid on and like an hour later, it's already starting to peel off. It was nothing. Nothing was helping me. And so I took a chance. I just finally said, fine. All right, whatever. Order me that thing. I don't even know the name of your company. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I didn't read anything. I mean, I didn't understand the language. I didn't follow the videos. I didn't, you know, we have much better videos now, just, you know. But at the time, like I wasn't holding on to anything that Aaron or Stephanie were dishing out. And I met Stephanie at an in-person event, and I got to taste the Power Shake at that event. I was so scared. Can't even tell you, I was really, really scared because it was green and I had never consumed liquid green before. This is going to be like chalk. This is going to be really gross. And surprise, it was actually delicious. I found myself licking my lips. That was really strange for me, right? And so I was like, okay, well, this might be something that I could do this for 30 days, I think, but you guys have to help me. You know, because I don't know what not to eat, what to do. I need help. And I admitted it. And I had never admitted any of that to anyone before, but because of the care fronting that was offered to me, it just allowed me to really sit in the space of, yes, Tal, you will be cared for. And so I took the plunge, and within 3 days, I started noticing the difference and I started feeling the difference. 6 days later, I was down 6 pounds. I should also tell you, I was 110 pounds overweight. And I used to be an athlete, a big athlete for Jamaica. I was a track star, I was training for Wimbledon. I swam for Jamaica swim team for 6 years. I was very competitive. And so this was a totally different me, 110 pounds. Oh, but it was okay because I had 2 kids, right? It's what you can't let go of the baby weight. No, I had gained that weight before them, you know, but that was my excuse. Fast forward now, 5 years later, I'm down 83 pounds. Yeah, right? 3 months after doing the 3 ULTs in a row, no more medications. That's it. My blood pressure regularized. I reduced the necessary points for my cholesterol. My sugar level totally balanced out. I was no longer type 2 diabetic. That's huge, right? And the biggest part for me, which was such a huge bonus because I was not expecting this at all, but my suffering, my 30 plus years of suffering with PCOS ended. Was over. I started menstruating every single month for 3 to 5 days, like all of my girlfriends. And I can't even tell you what that means to really, truly feel like a complete woman. Finally, I have been struggling with this and suffering with this all of my adulthood. All my reproductive years, I had been suffering with PCOS. And all of a sudden, wait, what? It's here again? Wait, I'm not prepared. Wait, it's gone again? Wait, what? What is this? It was amazing. And I have these superfoods to thank for this transformation that I've gone through. And so I too, just like Stephanie, I shouted from the rooftop. I tell everybody, whether they want to hear it or not, they're going to hear it. Right? I share every time I'm on a Zoom and I learn new information, or I check out someone's social media and I learn new information. I either post about it or I'm talking to somebody about it and I'm sharing about it and I'm inviting people over to my house to taste the stuff because I know what the taste does. It goes, oh, I could actually do this because it tastes good, because I had that experience myself. So just like Stephanie, and some of my sisters on this Zoom right now, I mean, I shared. Kim is here. Kim is the first person, one of the first people that I shared a gift card code with. And she's been thriving. for almost 5 years. And she's also sharing it loud and proud with everyone. And so this is the total transformation. There is nothing, and I'm telling you, I had tried, you name the protocol, I have done it. Some of them multiple times as well. Those systems, those meetings you go to, I'm not going to name any names, but yeah, those are all temporary fixes. It's like that Band-Aid that never quite sticks. So PURIUM is not a Band-Aid. It is definitely not a Band-Aid. It is actually what goes into your body and deals with the source of the problem. It dives deep, deeper than you can ever imagine. Feeling your body for the first time respond to being nutrient deficient, and then now adding in nutrients on that deep cellular level, there is nothing in the world more freeing than that. So yeah, I don't know. I could talk and preach all day long, baby.
Thank you, Tal. Yeah, I love hearing from you. And I just want to underscore some of what you have just shared here, because here's what I know. The standard American diet is making us sick. That's what you adopted, Tal, when you've moved to the United States from Jamaica. I know you've shared that in the past. That is what I'm not proud to say that I sort of, when I fell into that rut of caring for my family and going more in the direction of my ex-husband's food choices, it was definitely closer to the standard of American diet than I was aware of at the time. Even though it was organic, it was like the organic standard American diet, So, of fried foods, of gluten, of sugar, of more processed foods, of more frozen foods, And so this is what we are sort of hacking here with the PURIUM protocols, right, Tal? We're hacking that sort of same old, like this is how we do nutrition in the United States. Like, no, actually, we're going from SAD to RAD. That's what we say at the Million Mom Movement. We're going from the standard American diet to the radically real American diet. And for me and for Tal, the PURIUM was sort of like the sacred container to just make more loving, more nutrient dense, deeply nutritious choices to be nourishing our body every single day with, So it's, this is not hard, I was like this with cleanses, Tal, you were like, I'm not doing another one of these systems, we were both, no, like not us. And then here we are all these years later, and we're still doing it, because it's doable, because it tastes good, because it's delicious and our bodies love it. So before we pivot to talking more about the business, I just want to talk a little bit more about the company, because the company is really special. And the mission and the vision of the company is really, really, really special. So the two co-owners of this company, Amy Venner and Dave Sandoval, are friends of Tal's and mine. Why? Because when I used to live in Los Angeles, Tal and I would go down to the headquarters all the time and do live events with the co-founders, who almost every time they present, cry, okay? They are deeply committed to ending human suffering. And when I heard that several years ago, I was like, what the what? We can end human suffering with nutrition? I mean, I literally had that thought in my head. And I had to really lean into the consciousness of Dave Sandoval, who really is the visionary of the company. Dave had helped so many people for so many decades with their nutrition. He knew how many people were suffering because of what they were eating, because of what they were putting in their body daily. I didn't know. I just knew that I was suffering, right? But Dave knew that the masses were suffering. And Dave thinks really, really big. And so I had to lean into sort of that large vision that Dave has and feel into what it was that he was speaking to. And then the other thing, Tal and I will talk about this in a moment, but the other way that we're suffering in the United States of America, we do not have our financial wellness where we want it to be. Okay. So we're suffering because of our health and we're suffering because of finances. And so I appreciate the mission of this company so much. And way back when I was living on the organic farm 30 years ago, Dave and Amy were working to create the USDA organic standards labeling, organic certification here in the United States. That's deeply meaningful to me. I've been an organic activist for 30 years, as long as they've been doing this work. And really, you know, I was that person that would walk into Ralph's Grocery down in Los Angeles and say, where's your organic produce? You know, so I'm that one person in LA doing that. And Dave and Amy are working with the federal government to get organic certification and labeling. So I love the mission of this company. I love our founders. I love their deep commitment to helping us get healthy and wealthy. All right. And this is where we're going to pivot, because this is what this company is offering those of us who are not only interested in getting our own health to an optimal place of radiance and vitality, but we're interested in helping others create that for themselves. So now I'm going to share with you about where I was 6 years ago financially. I was a very busy business coach. I was helping women entrepreneurs to double and triple their income all over the world. Okay, the US, Canada, Europe, Australia. That was me. All right. I was a sacred business coach and I loved my work. I absolutely loved it. I wasn't looking for another stream of income. But here's the other thing that you have to know about me. I'm more interested in being of service, being a servant leader than I am about making money. And I knew that when I had been helped by this nutrition, that I had a very large network of moms and women that I could also help with this nutrition. And that really inspired me. I want to help moms who have struggled and suffered the way that I had struggled and suffered postpartum, to get their health back, to get their mojo back, to get their libidos back, and yes, to make money. And it was at that point that I started looking for colleagues, friends, fellow mamas in LA and beyond to join me on this mission of working a PURIUM business. And that's when everything started to change for me. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a little summer cold. So that was a really special time in my life, because I was also deeply entrenched in the dollars for hours paradigm. So what does that mean? It means that you show up, you have a day job, you're paid if you show up, you're not paid if you don't show up, right? You don't show up for your 9-to-5 job, you don't get paid. That was me. I was working as a business coach. If I didn't show up to coach my women clientele, I worked with some men, some smart men, but mostly women, and I wouldn't be paid, right? So I started to learn about the residual income model. And as a business coach, I had really been studying business now for many years. And the more I started to learn about the residual income model, the more excited I got. And the more I started to learn about the residual income model married with the ethics, the values, the incredibly premium products of PURIUM, the more excited I got that PURIUM was my exit strategy from the dollars for hours paradigm. And that's when I got really, really, really excited. Kept my day job, kept working as a business coach, and I started working PURIUM part-time, evenings and weekends. I'd fit it in the nooks and crannies. And over time, maybe like a year, I got to green diamond status with the company. And that was sufficient for me to be bringing in an income. So when the cancer diagnosis landed on my doorstep, hello, I stepped away from business coaching. Bye-bye business coaching income. but I'd worked my PURIUM business for 3 years part-time. And I had a really decent income coming in monthly that could sustain me while I went down to Mexico to heal my body of the appearance of breast cancer. And then it wasn't until I was prepared and I'd moved up here to Bainbridge Island in Washington State 6 months later that I decided to get back into my PURIUM business and continue elevating my PURIUM income. So that's exactly what I've done. So I got to live the experience of financial insurance that happens when you have a beautiful organization of folks that are working the business as part of my organization. I could step out and that income kept coming in to help me and my boys to live, right? So that was, that was really, really impactful to me to live through that experience. And now what I get to do with a much larger organization that I have now is I get to help women every single day to be doing that in a way that works for them. People always say, oh, I don't know if I have time. What's the time commitment? I'm like, it's whatever you want. It's whatever time you have to give, right? Whatever you want, however it is that you want to weave this into your work and to your life so that you're creating alignment in your life and in your home and how it is that you are bringing money in. That's how I like to support my team. So it's incredibly, fruitful way to earn money. Residual income is it's a very elegant way to earn money. Essentially, I work part-time hours and I make full-time income. That's the way that I like to describe it. And that's what's possible when you devote your time, in addition to whatever else you're doing while you're building this. It grows as you are doing other things, right? Which is what I really love about that. I'm like, you can keep doing your dollars for hours business and you can grow your organization until you're ready to leave that business, So that's a little bit of what I wanted you to know about how it is that I have grown this business out of a business coaching operation and into really becoming a network marketing professional, which I now own and I'm, very proud to be able to call myself that. So I'd like to come back around to Tal here. And if Tal, you had a whole nother career similar to me, right? Before you found PURIUM. And then you created a whole nother career in the midst of your PURIUM experience. And will you share a little bit about that metamorphosis, that transformation that you've had with your business? We'd love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, boy, I've been around the world and sorry, dance break. I was an interior designer for a long time. So I've had a few different transitions with my interior design career. I've always, since graduating UCLA, I started my own Tal Kapoor Designs business. So I was my own entrepreneur and I would do side jobs. Right out of graduation, I joined a firm, had a very, very high income paying position as senior designer and was designing hotels in Asia and really all over the world and traveling everywhere and doing all the things and, flashing the Jimmy Choo shoes and all that stuff. That was like the high powered life that came at a price because I was the dog, the female dog of the company, right? I did everything my bosses wanted me to do. I traveled anytime they needed me to travel. I didn't even know what day of the week it was when I got back into LA. It put a heavy weight on my relationship with my then boyfriend, who's now my husband, but still, we made it. And it was no fun being told what to do all the time. And if I needed that time off, I had to request it. And I had to go around, all of these fences and jump over these hoops and all of this stuff. And yes, eventually I would get the requested time off, but I had to make sure that the team was set and this was that. And, it it was really difficult. And I was really living on their expectations and not for myself. But I loved what I did. And this is what I was supposed to do after doing 4 years of university. Like this is what everyone does, right? You work for a big firm, you get that high powered job, you make all that money, and you're just their bee the entire time. Come 9/11, that changed everything, and our company had dissolved and closed down. So then I stepped back into being interior designer. After a while, when my kids, we decided to send them to private school, needed to fill the gap to pay for private school tuition. So I got a retail job for a very popular furniture store here in Los Angeles. And I was showroom manager and that sort of stuff. Again, I was their bee, right? Again, I had to go through the hoops and around and all the obstacle courses and blah, blah, blah. I had to show up on time, not clock out before I was supposed to clock out. Like, it was just like, boo, everyone always telling me what to do. It was great being around people, but I felt so imprisoned by all of that, right? So I left that, said bye-bye. And I decided to really expand on my interior design business, became a volunteer for my kids' private school. Loved that because I was around people all the time. And I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. I like this more than I do my job, which is my own job. I was an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, right? I was working for myself. So that meant that I was doing all the invoicing, keeping track of my hours, keeping track of my mileage, keeping track of my invoices, my incoming invoices, being the one to talk to the clients all the time, doing all the sourcing, shopping all the time, going to different states to shop for different kinds of furnitures. Everything was on me, right? Because the only way for me to make the money was to do it myself. If I started hiring someone else to side team with me, I'd lose all that big income. And I needed that because I had two kids in private school in Los Angeles. I needed the money, right? So I had to burn out. I had to kill myself. I had enough. And I didn't realize, I knew before I found PURIUM, about 5 years before I found PURIUM, I knew that I had to change something. I was completely stressed out. My health, like I told you before, was in total depletion, and I needed to change something. And I just didn't know what it was because I couldn't possibly take on another business. I was capped out. I working till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, up again at 5. There was nowhere to put anything in. So I thought. So I came in and started sharing PURIUM. Not so much because of the money in the beginning. I came in, and I'm still in, because of the fun, because of the community, because I really enjoy meeting people. And I really enjoy helping people transform their life and their lifestyle and their finances. I actually really do enjoy that. And I didn't know that I did before. When I first came into PURIUM, I told Erin, nobody knows what I'm doing. You are sworn to secrecy. Do not tell a soul. Because I was embarrassed, right? I was ashamed that I would need to do yet another thing, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, really. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, people need to know about this. So that's how I started sharing. And then all of a sudden, every Friday, this direct deposit kept coming in. Kept coming in. Every time I shared the gift of life with a friend, the checks kept coming in. It kept coming in every Friday and the 15th of every month. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is the tuition that I've been waiting for. Okay, so I can cut back on some of my interior design jobs now. I don't have to be working 8 to 12 clients at a time by myself, right? And when you're doing that many projects, mistakes happen. And those mistakes cost, guess who? Right? So by working so many jobs, I was actually losing money because I had to fix all of these stupid little rookie mistakes that, you know, had I had an assistant, would have caught it. You know, had I not had 12 projects at a time, would have paused that. So come in PURIUM, which was a no-brainer. I had a whole community to help me in sharing. I didn't have to sell a thing, right? Because I didn't really know what I was talking about. Remember, I told you how completely sad diet minded I was before. I didn't know anything about greens, let alone vegetables. I was like, what? So I didn't have to sell anything. I just connected them to Stephanie or to Rachel or to Aaron. And I just brought my friends to my new friends who had all the information. And they told them about all the good stuff. Like I did that with Kim too. I think Kim met with Aaron and we kind of knew each other from school too. So that was an easy conversation to have. But it wasn't me. I didn't give Kim the information. I didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I didn't even know the name of the company when I first purchased. You know, I wasn't paying attention. So I had community, I had people, I had new friends. It was fun. I got to go to all these corporate events. I got to go to Dallas for their convention. I got to, you know, just travel and just be with new, interesting people that, you know, have different mindsets, different religions, different cultures, different everything. And that was like, oh, I like this. This is fun. I like this a lot. So for me, I do this for the fun and the community. The money comes in, but that's why I do it. I do it because the social, I love it. And I didn't realize before just how much I thrive on being with people until I found PURIUM. And that's the beauty of doing this business too. You discover your real self when you do this. You discover your real self when you get the nutrients in your body and you start sharing with your community and you go, oh my gosh, that person I haven't spoken to in 2 years, I just heard that they're suffering with something. I wonder if I could help them. And then you become a part of their life.
Yeah.
You become a part of that transformation. And so that's why sharing PURIUM has been more of a gift for me in that regard. And the finances just sort of, they come. The residual income is great because I still have customers that are ordering every month. And if they take a break for like 3 months or so and they come back in and they order another pack, I still get the rewards from it. And I get to be with them again. So that's what I got.
Yay, I love it. The community, it's so beautiful. And this is, you know, this is something that I am so glad you're highlighting this for us, Tal, because I wanted to just underscore that, you know, when I was the sacred business coach, I was the chief cook and bottle washer. I did all the marketing. I did all the accounting. I did everything. Okay. And this business, all of that is done for you. It's all done for you. So there's a whole system in place to support you. And then the beautiful thing that I love about our team specifically is that we are a robust team. We are a large team. We are a team that's going places. We have not only in our team of amazing women and men, you know, I just, you know, will tout what we're up to here as a team, but we also have side team brothers and sisters that we get to connect with and learn from all the time. So that was incredible for me to go from solopreneur Stephanie, chief cook and bottle washer, I'm where the rubber meets the road, to, oh my goodness, I have an upline. I have side team sisters and brothers when I was just getting started, right? I was like, I have mentors, coaches that could work with me and help me understand and train how to do this business, because I didn't understand network marketing. I had no clue. And I learned, and I'm still learning, and I love it. I love being of service. I love learning. I love mentoring. I love coaching. So I get to wear all the hats, you know, that I was wearing as a business coach, and then more. So it's really, it's been it's so nourishing, to be held that way within the fabric of the network, within the fabric of community, which is something that's really missing in our current day. I think we all really learned that from the COVID lockdowns and what have you, that community is really important. People that vibe with you and get you and love you and support you. I had that through COVID with this community. Like, I really had that, and I'm forever grateful for everybody who has loved me and supported me through the cancer experience, through the weight loss, through, excuse me, what I went through with Zephyr, and then through COVID. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And we do have live events regularly. We have, our team has live events, the company has live events, and it's a way for you to, that's how I built my business, actually, was through live events. So you can do them locally on your own. You can connect with the corporate events and really start to interface with the amazing community that this company is attracting. That's what I love about it. It's like, who are the people that are finding this community? Well, it's my people. It's those of us who care about Mother Earth, who care about nourishing our children really well, who care about organic farming, regenerative farming, really looking after the 7 generations that are going to come long after we've gone, right? So I love the mission of our company. I love how we are all about ending human suffering, nutritionally as well as financially, and that we can hold that as a possibility for people, right? So the last thing I want to talk about, and I can't believe I haven't really mentioned it that much tonight, but I happen to be the chair of the Million Mom Movement, which is the activist arm of our company. And did you notice how I just put my 2 fists together? Tal. Yeah. So I become a little bit fierce when I start talking about the Million Mom Movement, because I care deeply about what's going on with our children and how it is that we are being poisoned as a populace here in the United States and Canada. It really pisses me off. And for me, I get to merge my activism with my prosperity with PURIUM. I get to educate moms about getting the glyphosate out of their pantries and out of their babies and out of their bodies, as well as helping them make a really decent stream of income, however much they want to make. You want to make several $100s a month? Great. You want to make multiple $1,000s a month? Great. Let's do that. So the Million Mom Movement is really my call to action for so many members on my team and so many women that I'm continuing to bring on my team. And so, the way to get to 1 million is by sharing about what it is that we're up to, the activism that, getting glyphosate out of our body, helping people to detox, helping people to understand the degree to which there's poison in all of our food that's conventionally grown. So there's a lot more I could say about that. But again, I wanted to invite you all to come to Fierce Friday in 2 weeks on Friday, July 15th, I'm going to be interviewing Carrie Gillam, who's the author and journalist of the incredible book, The Monsanto Papers. And she's just a pit bull. Carrie Gillam is an absolute pit bull. She's a hero of mine. She also wrote a book called Whitewash. She's just like, she's got her fangs into Monsanto and she is not letting go. And I so appreciate that about her. And I kind of feel the same way with the Million Mom Movement. It's like, I'm not letting go. I am going to shake up this issue about the toxins in our food so that we can get the Million Mom Movement to 1 million-fold, so we can really make change and really, watch that corporation fall and the greed that they stand for. It's absolutely disgusting to me. So that's that's a little bit about the Million Mom Movement. We're looking for 1,000 moms, dads, concerned caregivers, aunties, uncles in over 100 communities to reach out to 10 families to help them turn their pantries clean, green, organic, and non-GMO. That is our mission. And the way that we do that is by educating, inspiring, sharing our stories, and reaching out to our friends, really, and just saying, hey, are you aware that Cheerios are drenched in glyphosate? That's one of the ways that we can share about what we have here. So we're coming up to the top of the hour. I just want to give you an opportunity, Tal, to share anything more that you'd like to about the Million Mom Movement, what it's meant to you over the last few years, and anything else you'd like to say about the business of working PURIUM.
Yeah, I would love to share a bit on the Million Mom Movement because, like I said before, for someone who came into this completely clueless, this is an important Zoom that I really do my best to be at every Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's really important for me now that I'm sort of really in this transformation zone where my health journey is on a real trajectory of going upward, that I really involve myself in learning as much as I possibly can. And this is where the Million Mom Movement comes in. And the way that it's everything is sort of approached is really it's really easy for me to understand it, if that makes sense. So it isn't a lot of scientific jarb, and there's some of that in there too, but it's really just the roots of speaking plain language and really helping me understand what is actually happening with our foods and what solutions I can do for my own home. I mean, I've been on this rampage of Stephanie changing the laundry detergent and the dish soap and the skincare products and the makeup, and I'm just like learning all of these things through the Million Mom Movement. So I'm always grateful for this weekly Zoom. I'm always telling people to jump on if they can. And if they can't, always happy to send the replays. I watch some of the replays a lot over the weekend too, because there's a lot of information that's thrown out there and I really want to get a full grasp of it. And I need to hear it a few times. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of what you've created with the Million Mom Movement, Stephanie. I mean, when I first came in, it was a small little group of maybe 20 people or something, and you've really developed it into a really big part of PURIUM that everyone knows about, and it's a real source for a lot of people. And so I really appreciate the work that you and the council do to bring all of the information to us weekly. So appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to. I actually won't be there next week, but I'm looking forward to that replay for sure.
Yeah.
What I want to share just a little bit on the business part. If anyone is a customer and you are thinking about, your sister or your best friend or your husband's best friend or whatever, and you're thinking about, they could really benefit from this, or maybe they're reaching out to you going, what are you doing? Because your skin looks amazing. You're totally glowing. I can see your eyes. Like you just look amazing. Your hair is banging. How'd you get your nails to grow out? Whatever they're saying to you, because all those changes are going to be happening once you start nourishing yourself. So if you have these things happening and you're sort of thinking in your mind, well, you know what, they should do this too, rather than just doing the referral program that many of us have, where you just sort of introduce to the person who sponsored you, become a brand partner. Fight the fight with us. Share the goodness with us. I mean, the more people that are sharing about these nutrient-dense superfoods, the better, the closer we get to ending human suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And human suffering is in all of our communities. It's in all of our neighborhoods. It's on all of our streets. It's in every single school. And you can be the part that really is able to make that difference. So I would encourage you to speak to the person that invited you to this Zoom, because now you're thinking about doing the ultimate lifestyle transformation with the Immune Pack, which is the pack, by the way. I just want to drop that in, Stephanie. The ULT plus Immune. is the best bang for your buck. And it's really going to be the pack for 30 days. It's going to help get you into that whole transformation protocol. It's going to help you with your cravings. It's going to start setting your body right again and bringing back the youth. I have reversed my age by at least 15 years for sure. Kim too, because oh my gosh, yeah. And so, talk with the person who invited you to this Zoom, and also, say, hey, listen, I'm really curious about what it actually entails to become a brand partner. Because with this pack that you're purchasing, the brand partnership, the business comes for free. And so it's like, it's kind of a no-brainer because people. You know people. If you're considering this, your community is considering this. And that they're thinking that, oof, they need to make some changes too. So I'd encourage you to reach out to them and join our fabulous team. We are epic. We are alive.
Yeah. Thank you, Tal. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we do invite you to become a brand partner. You can get your own affiliate code. The person that invited you here tonight, they have a code for you that's going to give you 25% off of your initial purchase. And you can get your own code that you can share with your friends, family, and colleagues that will then give them 25% off. And every time they purchase, you receive 20% commission. That's sweet, especially when you've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. Your organization gets really big, you get 9 levels deep, and that's some serious financial insurance. So we want to invite you to join the Million Mom Movement. If that inspires you, we want to invite you to join the mission of PURIUM, of ending human suffering. And so we're here for you. We're here to share more, answer your questions. And thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Tal, for your time. Good night.